Let me just check. I think the web attendees are coming in, right? Okay, yeah, I'll just assume that everything's working. All right, so hi everybody, I'm Samir here. I'm with Go Elite, and we're co-hosting this webinar with Nathan from Indiana Wesleyan. We're going to talk about the Indiana Wesleyan program. If you haven't already heard about it, I mean, I think we might already be familiar. It's one of the more cost-effective programs. Couple different like majors for you to pursue. An exciting announcement is that there will be now a Texas campus launched. And so we'll be going over the details of that residency in the course. And as always with our webinars, we're going to have a Q&A at the end directly with the DSO. So please put, if you have questions, hold on to them, put them in the Q&A section. We'll get to them at the end. Do pay attention to the webinar though, because there is a chance that Nathan may be answering your question before you even ask it. So for sure ask your questions, but also like please pay attention. And if you want to get in touch with me or anybody on the consulting team here at Go Elite, go ahead and scan one of the QR codes. The QR code on the left is for consultation in English on WhatsApp. You'll be talking to somebody on my team. Or if you want to do it in Chinese, you can do that on the WeChat QR code on the right. All right, now let's go ahead and get started. So Go Elite, again, if you're not already familiar with us, we're here. We've been operating for a couple years, helping people with applications to programs that have CPT. We're certified by AIRC. We also have a rewards program. So if you do get enrolled with us, or even if you don't get enrolled with us, actually, I would just recommend that you can go ahead and sign up. This is how, like, if you know people who are interested, you can refer them to us. You can get a bonus for them. You can do course evaluations, connect with like existing students once you get your I-20, and just get some extra benefits for like enrolling in our program. So do go ahead and check that out. It's basically free money waiting there. We do have, along with this webinar, we have webinars on all of our partner schools beyond like our school-specific webinars. We do have some more immigration-focused webinars, so do go ahead and check out our other webinars. We've had some recently about the new DHS proposal on changing the extension of status, and just other stuff like with the H-1B that I'm sure everybody's thinking about right now. So do go ahead. We'll have like actual immigration lawyers, and we'll have Q&A for them as well. So I think it's a great resource for anybody who's just on F1 right now and like thinking about their next steps. And for questions, please do go ahead and direct those to the Q&A section in the Zoom fiction. You should be able to submit that, and we'll get to them at the end of the webinar. Thanks. But also if you just want to check out like more about us, like don't just take my word for it. You can check out our Google reviews. You can hear from other students who've gone through their applications with us. And you again here once again there's the QR codes for WhatsApp consultation on the upper left and WeChat consultation on the right. Cool. Yeah, and these are our socials. We have YouTube, we're on Facebook, Instagram page, and all of that. So do go ahead and check us out. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and hand it over to Nathan.
All right. Thank you, Samir. Just excited to be here today. We're always excited to partner with Go Elite, just to thoroughly enjoy our partnership with them. And the students that we know join us through the Go Elite partnership are excellent. Our faculty compliment constantly the engagement that they bring into the classroom and the experience that they have, from their previous educational experiences as well as in the workplace and the value that that brings into the classroom. So just want to go through a few highlights for Indiana Wesleyan and just kind of go through some of the main information. And then if you do want to pursue further conversation with us, always happy to get you connected with one of our enrollment counselor teams, and they can obviously do a much deeper conversation with you, based on the Go Elite team guiding you towards that application to our program. Just a few items I'd like to cover. Just want to talk about Indiana Wesleyan, in general at a glance. And then we'll talk about our student entry and course format, our full courses study. We'll look at our 2 locations that we're offering now for our master's level programs in the hybrid modality, the programs that are available through our Go Elite partnership, and then we'll dig in a little bit to the enrollment requirements and that enrollment process. So Indiana Wesleyan has been around since 1920, originally founded as Marion College in Marion, Indiana, which is a small town about an hour north of Indianapolis, about 3 hours from Chicago. And we have a beautiful campus there. About 2,400, 2,500 students attend there on a regular basis in traditional undergraduate programming. And then we have been involved in what is commonly referred to in the United States as, adult-friendly programming, online hybrid, one night a week formats at the bachelor's, master's, and doctoral level since the 1980s. And overall, we have close to 14,000 students now that attend with Indiana Wesleyan at regional centers throughout Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, and then as well as online. And then, as I mentioned, that traditional home campus there in Marion. From an accreditation standpoint, from an academic quality standpoint, we do hold accreditation through the Higher Learning Commission. That is our primary regional accreditation that we hold. Many of our business programs that are in our hybrid international student programs are accredited by ACBSP as well, which is a business accreditation that focuses on faculty quality and faculty engagement with their students. But as you can see on the slide, we are accredited across the spectrum of our academic programs by a variety of agencies, and so it just shows, deep into our academic portfolio. We are meeting those high standards for licensure programs. Different accrediting bodies have all come in, have verified the work that we're doing and how we deliver those programs out to our students, both in person through hybrid modalities as well as online. So just a look at the basics of our programs and how those entry dates work and how our course format operates. The very basics of our hybrid international programs at the master's level is most of our programs are 30 credit hours, which can be completed in 20 months. And each course is 8 weeks. So most of our students for their entire duration with us will complete one course every 8 weeks. And then there are 6 courses each calendar year. And then that rotation just continues on until you complete out your 10 course, 10 subject program over those 20 months. The residency requirement is 1 time per academic term. And so that works out that you do need to attend 3 times per calendar year. And we do those residencies in Merrillville, Indiana, which is in the Chicagoland region, about an hour from the Magnificent Mile in downtown Chicago. And then we will discuss a little bit our new location that we're offering in Forney, Texas, which is just outside Dallas on the east side of the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. The vast majority of our residencies are held on Friday and Saturday. We do a Thursday afternoon as well for our new students as they're coming in to welcome them, provide some orientation opportunities from a DSO, from an advising, from an academic standpoint, just to make sure that they get off to a successful start during that first academic term. And then the remainder of their residencies for their program will be hosted on just that Friday and Saturday during the day. Total cost, 30 credit hours, comes in under $20,000. Our typical payment structure is students will submit $1,000 per month for the duration of their program. But once you look at book cost and there's some opportunities to lessen that cost there, most of our students pay just a little bit over $19,000 total for their entire program. We offer 9 different intakes per year, and this is something that a lot of new students have some confusion on. So just like to cover this as students are joining us. But each academic term, so 3 terms per year, each of those provides 3 separate entry points. And that's to provide lots of opportunities if you're coming off of OPT or if you're coming off another academic program, just to provide a lot of different ways for you to smoothly move from OPT into day 1 CPT work authorization, or if something else is going on that you need to find, a quick and soft landing place to join a new program. This provides a lot of opportunities throughout that calendar year. So if you join us at the beginning of a term, we refer to that as our A start. And so you'll begin on that very first day of the academic term. You'll do one full 8-week course session through an online format, and then you'll join us for that second class. And that second 8 weeks, you will be assigned that residency requirement. We also offer a B start. So 4 weeks later, we offer that opportunity for students to begin a little bit later in the term. And as you can see, those 2 courses, those 2 8-week sessions will overlap a little bit, but it still allows a student to ensure that they complete both courses, 6 credits, and maintain that compliance from an F visa standpoint and complete out their full course of study. And then lastly, this is actually what we're coming up on here for our October 20th start date for the fall term. That's what we call our C start. And as you can see, those students will complete 2 courses simultaneously over those final 8 weeks of the term, but they're still compliant for their F visa because they're still meeting that full course of study requirement. And then when they move on from there and complete out the duration of their program, then they would fall into that 1 course at a time format. So this is what a typical term then also looks like for us, meeting that full course of study. Every term is 16 weeks. Students will have 2 different sessions each term, each 8 weeks. One will have that residency requirement where you'll be obligated to come to campus in Merrillville or Forney and meet that in-person, in-classroom obligation. And then that other course will be offered online. And then all of our students take a UNV course, or what we call a universal course, that is meeting those practical training obligations. So if you're pursuing OPT or actively engaged in CPT, that UNV course is an important component for meeting that regulation expectation for students that are out on work authorization. Moving on to our locations, as I mentioned, we do have the Merrillville location. This is a facility that has been with Indiana Wesleyan since the early 2000s. Beautiful building, totally structured and built for our international students. And it's like I mentioned, it's just about an hour outside of downtown Chicago. Both major airports in the Chicagoland region are within an hour of this location. Tons of hotel options at a variety of price points right there adjacent to campus or just across the street. And then lots of meal and other options. And it sits right on a major interstate as well for students that are driving in as opposed to flying in to the residency requirement. Our new location that we're excited to begin offering will be based in Forney, Texas. We're referring to this as our Dallas Study Center. We have received state approval to offer courses at this location. We are still pursuing some of the next steps with SEVP, but students are permitted to attend a portion of their program at another location outside of their primary site from their SEVIS record. So if students want to join us in Texas now, they can sign up or they would attend 2 of their 5 assigned residencies here at the Texas location. There's a picture there. This is what is called the Opportunity Central for a school district that Indiana Wesleyan has a relationship with there in Texas. We do a lot of teacher training for classroom K through 12 teachers throughout the state of Texas. And this is a school district that we have a great relationship with, and they have opened up this facility for us to host our international students. Tons of classroom space. There are restaurants on site. There's a coffee shop on site. There's even a lot of different businesses that the high school and local community college students operate that are there on site. So it's just a beautiful building, beautiful facility. And we're excited to have students begin joining us there here coming this November for new students that have started with us beginning on October 20th. If you want to dig into details about what that frequency would look like or when you would attend in Texas compared to Merrillville, that's a conversation that you can have with one of the Go Elite agents, or you can definitely have that conversation with one of our enrollment counselors, and they'd be happy to kind of break down the specifics on how that balance would work out of attending in Texas and then in Merrillville as well. The programs that we offer are a hybrid format in relationship with Go Elite. We do have a Master of Science in Data Analytics. There's a Master of Science in AI that also has some data analytical courses included in there. And then a Computer Information Systems program that is structured around the same AI academic core. And then we have a major in Information Technology Project Management. Those AI classes we're super excited about. We've launched them a little bit over a year ago. Lots of excellent faculty that are engaging in amazing activities when students are on site, hackathons, and just giving them real world problems that they're going in and testing and solving using, the new and ever evolving AI tools that are out there and available. And then that project management program is really exciting as well. It meets the education requirements for a project management professional PMP credential, which is an excellent tool when you're job seeking and looking at employment opportunities. That PMP credential is a very marketable tool for you to have. And this program meets those education requirements to go pursue that. There are some additional work experience and exam requirements beyond the education that we offer, but we put you in excellent position to take that next step towards securing that credential. Enrollment requirements. The best thing you can do as far as applying with Indiana Wesleyan is get that application link from our Go Elite partners, and then that will drop you in to create your application account. And then you will see your entire account populate with checklist items and the different materials and documents that you need to provide to us to secure admission. I will be, students that submit that application, provide all their documentation, often see an admission, within 24 hours, assuming that all those documents are in place and ready to go for our team to review, approve, and have our admissions team take a look at your file. But for transcripts, if you have attended at a U.S.-based institution, you can submit unofficial records of your U.S.-based transcripts, but we do encourage you as quickly as possible to have that official transcript sent over by requesting that through your former institution. If you have your home country documents, then please submit in a copy of that transcript and then a copy of that diploma, provisional certificate, the degree that was awarded to you as well. And there will be places for you to upload those files there in your application account. We will also at that time ask for a copy of your passport and then the existing U.S. visa documentation that you have available, either your visa card or if you have a 797 approval notice that documents your current visa status here in the U.S. English proficiency scores, there is a location where you can upload those as well. We do accept TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo scores towards admission to Indiana Wesleyan. However, if you have any previous English language instruction, then you can submit that information there on your application, and then we will waive that English test score requirement based on that previous English instruction, either done here in the U.S. or if you've done that, completed that English instruction somewhere overseas. The GPA requirement is a 2.5. If you are below a 2.5 GPA, you can work with your enrollment counselor to provide additional information. We do have an admissions committee that will review files for applicants that do fall below that requirement. Obviously, I can't ensure or promise admission, but I can promise you that admissions committee will take a review of your information, what you have done professionally and personally since you completed that degree with that lower GPA, and then they will give you a fair review and possible admission into the program on a probationary status. Third-party evaluations is also a common question that we receive for your home country documentation. We can review transcripts from a lot of different places around the world. If you have an existing third-party evaluation, I encourage you to please just go ahead and submit that and provide that documentation to us. But if you have not yet invested in a third-party evaluation, then you can submit the documentation that you have, and then our admissions team will review. And then if they are going to require that third-party review, then your enrollment counselor will follow up with you and inform you that that is something that will be required before you can move forward. For your I-20, if you are transferring into Indiana Wesleyan, we do use the Teradata platform for our students. So you will be granted an account to go submit all of your I-20 requests. If you're doing CPT right away, that's a time where you can go ahead and upload all of that information so that it's ready for us to authorize and have it on your I-20 immediately upon you beginning at Indiana Wesleyan. But obviously, it's also important for you to include that financial documentation upon your initial application so that we have the authority and the proper information in place to be able to issue that I-20. Our current number for I-20 issuance is $26,400. And you don't have to supply that for your admission, for your admit letter, but you will see a place where you can go ahead and upload that information right upon your initial application, which only speeds up the process. If you wait to submit that information post-admission, it can slow down our ability to take those next steps with your I-20. So having it in place immediately only adds for a smoother and a faster process. Speaking of the enrollment process, the best place to begin, like I said, was going through one of our Go Elite partners, and they will share with you an application link to submit your file. And you will open up an application link, an application account on our website. It's all structured off of a Salesforce platform. You can go in and make adjustments to your program date, your location. There's lots of resources available to you. And then there is a full checklist of all the items that you're expected to submit, before you can be reviewed for admission. You have continuous access to this, so even after you submit your application, this is a place that you're going to go back to upload updates to records. Once you're admitted, there's additional steps to take within that account as well. That's where your admit letter will be loaded once you're admitted, and you can go access that letter and download it. So this is just something that you need to be very familiar with all the way from that initial application you submit all the way until that first day of class. I also mentioned that, we do use the Teradata platform. So once you're admitted, you're immediately going to see emails from us regarding access to your Indiana Wesleyan student portal account. And then about a day or 2 business days later, we will get you into your Teradata platform account. And then that's where you will go be able to upload documents, access your I-20 once you're admitted, submit all of your DSO requests. That Teradata platform is something that's part of your entire journey with us all the way through. If you even engage OPT with us, even post-graduation, that is your home base to submit all of your DSO needs, requests, secure letters of enrollment verification. All those things are done through that platform. And so within your student portal, your email, course access, all those things, getting into Teradata, it's critical that you go access that platform right away. Additionally, once you're admitted, your application account will update with a series of forms for you to complete to verify your registration. There's a couple financial forms, there's information regarding the payment structure, and then there is an intent to enroll document that details your location and the program that you're enrolling for, and you affirm, that that is something that you want to move forward with. And then it does ask for a $500 deposit as well. That $500 deposit is not required for I-20 to be issued, but it is required for course registration. And that $500 does apply towards your tuition amount. So within that $20,000 that we talk about, that $500 is going towards payment towards that overall account balance. Speaking of CPT, that's obviously a common question we get through our Go Elite partner students. We cannot begin CPT prior to the program start date, but we do everything within our power to have CPT authorized for students that have submitted all the documentation, have everything in place on that first day of class. If students are trying to pull off that smooth transition, ask your enrollment counselor about that. And we do have some emails and some resources we can send out to you on how to best leverage going directly from OPT to CPT and allowing for that, seamless transition between those two options of work authorization. So ensure that you connect and ask questions about that with your enrollment counselor so that you time up all of those resources, documents, requests, so that we can have that I-20 with the CPT authorization in your hand for that first day of class. We do renew CPT every 12 months. CVIS won't allow us to go beyond 12 months. So if you have a continuous employment and there's no end date on your employment letter, we will go up to that 12-month mark. And at the end of those 12 months, you'll just need to submit a new request, ask for that renewal, ask for us to continue that CPT authorization, and then we will get that updated so that you can continue on with that employer. And then in that Teradata platform, that's where you'll see the documents that are required, cooperative agreements, instructions. That's where you'll load in all the dates and data and information. And then it'll be there ready for our team to quickly process it and get it turned around and over to you. So those are the basics. Those are the highlights. I will, like I said, leave anyone that wants additional information to connect with the Go Elite team. And then we are happy to like I said, connect with you after you submit that application and guide you through on that journey to the first day of class.
Well, thank you, Nathan. Now let's go ahead and turn it over to the Q&A section. Hold on. Sorry, my Zoom screen share is a little buggy. Okay, everyone can see this. So again, here is we have collected all the questions and we're continuing to collect questions. So as long as time permits, then we can I think we'll have until 5:45 Pacific time, so we got about 20 minutes to answer questions. If anything goes unanswered, again, feel free to scan the QR code here on the right for English consultation or on the left for Chinese consultation. So first question is do we have PhD program? I think at this time, from what Nathan we saw, we don't have a doctorate program with Day 1 CPT unless there's something that I missed in the presentation. Um, Hello? Uh, I am seeing Nathan frozen. Hi, Nathan.
I am back. I'm not sure where I went. To finish that thought, like I said, Indiana Wesleyan does have a doctorate of business administration
Oh,
program. It is hybrid.
mhm.
It is very similar to all the requirements that I mentioned. As far as frequency, I think it's 4 times per year you have to come to campus instead of three. It's heavily integrated with our domestic students, which provides some great networking opportunities. And soon we will be able to partner directly with Go Elite on that program, but it is something that you can review on our website.
All right, sure. Thank you for that. And can we travel outside the US during PhD, if we transfer from F1 visa?
I mean, as long as you're in status, you are able to travel. I'm never going to tell you that you can't travel. If you want a travel endorsement, you can. I understand the anxiety right now and, leaving and coming back through customs. But as far as our programs go, we do operate 12 months out of the calendar year. But, as long as you are all at all of your required residencies and you have a travel endorsement, there's no reason to expect that you would have any issues leaving and re-entering the country. And we have students that do it all the time and successfully enter through customs with no issues.
All right, thank you. So just I think you answered this question just now about the doctorate program. Does Indiana Wesleyan happen to have other program networking servers and firewall courses in a doctorate in the DBA program?
The DBA program, it's an information systems management specialization that is available. There's a data analytics specialization, healthcare management, and then there is one that's just in general business administration management.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So for the next one, do we need a visa stamp? So I think I can answer this question. So if you have a valid F1 visa, technically you can travel if your visa stamp isn't for IWU, if it's valid and your I-20 is valid and you have the travel endorsement. That doesn't actually have anything to do with your enrollment in IWU. So if your visa stamp is expired, you're gonna have to get it restamped no matter what. If your visa stamp isn't expired, you can travel with the travel endorsement. But yeah, I mean, take the precautions that you feel
Just
comfortable with.
to put my DSO hat on real quick, obviously the more recent updates with, visa stamps and visa renewal is that any of the Dropbox opportunities have gone away. So
Mhm.
if you do need to go home and renew your visa, you will have to submit for a consular interview. Don't take it lightly. Prepare, be ready to respond to questions that, justify, your extended time in the US, the next degree that you're taking, what value does it add beyond previous degrees, and ensure that you leave yourself ample time to, apply, get that appointment, and go to that appointment so that you can return back for any classroom requirements, work requirements, whatever, that you're coming back to the US for. But yeah, don't take that process lightly.
Oh yeah. Good point. Yeah, it's not like visa stamp. I mean, it should never really be like something that you think you can just like breeze through. You do actually have to like know what's going on. I remember. All right, I'm on STEM OPT. Okay, I think we just also answered this question. We have the DBA program at Indiana Wesleyan with different concentrations, and as Nathan mentioned, there are 9 different start dates throughout the year. So I think depending on when your STEM OPT ends, if you want to start it earlier, want to start it later, as of the current rules, as long as you transfer your CVIS within your 60-day grace period, you can maintain your status. We'll see what happens if there's new updates from the DHS. Next question. Okay, can we do second masters yet? Now, Nathan, do you want to talk about the DHS proposal?
I am happy to try to answer any questions that anyone has about the proposed duration of status regulation update.
Mhm.
But there are no answers to give yet. I mean, that's the challenge is that the final rule has not been published. We're not sure when the new rule will be published. We're not sure exactly what will be included in the new rule after I think roughly 22,000 comments back to the regulation were submitted by a variety of institutions and associations. And, so we're just kind of waiting right now to kind of see when it will be implemented and what those final rules will be. I'm not going to put myself in a position to speculate, but we will have to see if the second masters that rule is still there or if it's maybe adjusted or if there are some ways. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Cool. Yep. Yeah. So I know everyone's asking for like looking for answers right now, and so are we. So
Every day.
yes. I think you already touched on this again, but could you go over public transportation and like any hotel discounts?
Yeah, so our students use a variety of methods to get down to campus. There are some bus options that get you pretty close. A lot of students do use Uber and other rideshare opportunities. There is the South Shore Line, that is a train service that does run out of Chicago into Indiana communities. They're in northwestern Indiana, and I know they are close to, if they've not already, have a brand new station that's off of a spur that gets you within about a 20-minute Uber ride of our campus as well. We do have a couple hotels that we have some hotel discount relationships with. We do provide some of that information at the time of notifying students for residencies. But I'll be honest, there are roughly 20 hotels that are within walking distance or 5-minute drive of the campus. And I've seen price points anywhere from about $60 to about $350. So whatever your level of comfort and luxury is, I'm sure that you will find something right there that kind of meets your price point and what level of comfort that you want as well.
All right, thank you for that. Now next question, when will classes officially begin at the new campus?
So with the new campus, we are bringing in students here with our October 20th start. There are two programs, the Computer Information Systems and the Artificial Intelligence Data Analytics courses will be offered for students beginning on October 20th, and then they will be on site there in early November for their first residency. And then we will open up all four of those programs that you saw during the presentation will be available for students beginning in winter 2026, and then they would be on site there in March. The current structure is students would attend their first two residencies in Texas and then the remainder of their program at that Merrillville location.
All right, thank you for that. Will students have the flexibility to transfer between campuses later? Maybe somebody's in Texas right now, and they're taking classes at the Indiana campus. Could they transfer?
Uh, that is a difficult question to answer, especially as I said, since we're kind of locked into only offering two of the five residencies. And so, it's something that we can consider on a student by student basis, but without seeing someone's specific course registration, that'd be difficult to answer.
All right, thank you. Now, will scholarships or assistantships be available for students enrolling at the new campus?
Right now, I don't have any hard information on potential scholarships that are available. We are reviewing what those potential opportunities will be for the winter 2026 academic term. And once we have decided what those opportunities will be, we will get those published out to prospective students.
All right, thanks. Are classes scheduled on weekends or weekdays?
All your residencies are on Fridays and Saturdays. And then, as I said, brand new students will join us on a Thursday afternoon as well, which would be answering the next question, talking about orientation sessions. All of our students, as they join the program, are invited to a virtual online orientation session. We host those on a regular basis. And then at that first residency, we do several things from an orientation standpoint just to ensure that your program with Indiana Wesleyan is a successful one.
All right, thanks. Then will there be orientation sessions for new students at the new campus?
Yeah, I think I just
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, and I mean, I think like that's something you could expect for any school you go to, is that you will have like an orientation session. Are there differences in tuition fees between main campus and new one? No, right?
the tuition rate price point is the same.
Yep. What's the UNIV course? No credit, CPT, OPT?
The UNV course is added for all students. It speaks to practical training in general, so both OPT and CPT. For our students that are pursuing OPT, it speaks to the way that they're going to need to articulate future jobs and how they relate to their academic program. And those that are actively engaged in CPT, it makes that curricular connection so that they can articulate that. It's a no credit course. There's a small fee that's attached to that every semester. Again, that's included in that overall price point that I've already mentioned.
All right, thanks for that. With the new administration, we're hearing that day one CPT will be removed. Yeah, I think there's a lot of rumors right now. The newest, if you heard something, it's probably about the second master's. But day one, okay, first of all, day one CPT is not like an official term actually that like exists in the US government. So there's no like the DHS didn't say like, oh, day one CPT will go away. They're mostly talking about the extension of status and second masters. And then, like we said, right now, we don't know what's gonna happen with that. I think one thing that Nathan mentioned and some other people asked about is like doctorate programs shouldn't be touched. If you, I mean, at least if you haven't done a doctorate before and you're studying a master's right now, or you're in your OPT after a master's, um, the proposal says that bona fide students can like continue their education by going up a degree level. So if you've have done a master's, haven't done a doctorate, feel free to go up. Um, that should be safe for sure. As for the timeline of everything else, it's up in the air. Yeah. And I know that's not like easy to sit with, and it's not easy to plan around, but that is the reality. A little bit of a notice, or if it makes it a little bit easier, there is a 30-day notice period that the DHS has said that they will give before making any concrete changes. So they won't be just like the flip of a switch and suddenly you can't transfer your CVIS anymore. But 30 days is also not that long. Um, Nathan, did you have anything to add? Sorry.
No, I mean, other than we're waiting. There's the 30-day comment period, which has closed. Then there's a additional 30 days that is a data collection period that has to conclude. So nothing will happen until the end of October. And then, my take and my read on several things with CBIS might require some technology updates before they could fully implement. So, but again, we are at the mercy of waiting and allowing the comment responses to play out. And then we will see what the final rule is. And as many things that we see often with the US federal government, then lawsuits sometimes enter into the conversation. And, that may alter the timeline and the structure as well if some agency or association decides to file suit against the regulation. And I say that not, to cheer that on or to say that that's what we're looking for. I'm just saying that there's no way for us to get out a crystal ball and give you a firm date on. We just know that it's going to happen at this time frame and in this timeline.
Yep. All right. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's a lot of uncertainty. All right. So there was a Go Elite scholarship for $1,500 for fall semester students. Is that going to apply to spring semester students as well?
At this time, we don't have a similar offer that's in place. Like I said, we're still reviewing what we may put out there and offer for winter students.
Yep. All right. Thanks. What's this assistantship look like in terms of finding like a job? Let's say if a student joins without a job and they're looking for a CPT employer.
Yeah, we do have an excellent career advancement team that has a lot of different resources that are available to students, and that you can engage with that team as well. I mean, they're not going to find you a job. That's not their job. That's not their role, their job to go out and find you a position, but they can give you some coaching, some guidance, some resources to help you along that way. And as there is a few different agencies that we're currently in conversation with that are trying to build out some opportunities for OPT, STEM OPT, CPT for us organizations and companies that are willing to engage with students in that type of work authorization status. We hope here just in the next couple of weeks to have some updates on some of those relationships that we're building out as well.
Cool. All right. Thanks. Then can students join IW without having a job? And if yes, what's the average turnaround time? I'm not really sure what this app question is about turnaround time in terms of how long the job process takes. I would assume that's very variable on different situations. But yeah, I mean,
Right. But the bottom line is you can join Indiana Wesleyan, without employment. And one of the reasons we have that UNV course there at all times for all students is that if you have a position, then, I give us 2 weeks, enough time for you to complete the CPT request, have our team review it. If there's any issues with the documentation, there's some time to get everything settled and approved and everything the way that it needs to be. But that allows us to add that CPT authorization at any time.
yep. Yeah. So yeah, you can join without a job. In terms of how long it takes to get a job, I think that's a question a lot of people would like a certain answer to. But in any case, no matter your working authorization, it's really hard to say. Um, How does CPT work if the student changes campuses or programs? I think we talked a little bit about changing campuses, but
Yeah, I mean, if you were to change sites or campuses or something like that, as long as your documentation is in order, we can turn around that location move and keep everything intact. Yeah.
yeah. All right, thanks. Then what does the cooperative agreement look like for CPT approval?
So we do require a cooperative agreement. That is a document that's structured into that Teradata request. So when you're exploring submitting a request, you'll see that document. SEVP has consistently been asking about cooperative agreements and wanting to see those in place. So that's why it's critical and important that you have that form completed, have that submitted. I agree and with you that it's very similar to a good offer letter, and I'm not sure I fully understand the difference, but this is one of those documents that the government wants to see. If your employer just absolutely refuses to complete a cooperative agreement, and I know some companies, Google, Amazon are two quick ones that come to mind, do not do cooperative agreements. We do have a form that you can complete, with some documentation that you can support the fact that your employer, would not go through with that process. So that again, we have something to protect you if your file's ever to be audited and they ask about that cooperative agreement, then we have something there in that place to support you and show that your employer was unwilling to provide that information. But you still need to have the offer letter, obviously, no matter what.
All right, thanks for that. And yeah, also just as a note for everybody, like the cooperative agreement, like not only is this like required by the US government, but it's also like good for you to have. Like anyways, just like if you're ever getting questioned about like let's say at the board, like there were questions about travel, right? And let's say the border officer is asking about, oh, like what's going on with your CPT approval, right? If you're familiar with the agreement and the approval process, then you'll be able to talk about how it's actually part of the curriculum. And that's why you're doing it, right? Because otherwise they might get suspicious that you're working like unauthorized. Um, all right. What's the deposit period? I think we already talked about that. Like the $500 one, unless there's another one.
$500 and it does count towards your tuition payments.
Yep, yep. So yeah, I mean it's you're just paying forward. Can students include salary slips as part of financial documents?
Yes, 3 months worth of salary documentation, and then we can use that towards your financial support
All right,
information.
thanks. Yeah, that's a flex, a big help for some students who maybe not don't have everything in one place. Um, are there any new programs going to be introduced at this campus? I assume then
Um,
this campus.
you can say anything that we want to roll out as far as a new program, would likely be offered at any of our locations, but we're working on a few things, but there's nothing that's imminent or that's going to be introduced in winter of 2026 at this time.
All right, for sure. Thanks. And then when's the earliest time to start CPT with the spring 2026 semester? I would believe that would be class start date, right?
Yeah, January 5th.
January 5th, yeah. What's the attendance policy for CPT students who are working full time? So I feel like the attendance policy doesn't really matter if you're doing CPT or not. It's just part of the
The CPT regulations state clearly that your work cannot conflict with your in-classroom requirements, and you will get a very firm response from my DSO team if you try to beg out of your in-classroom requirements because of work.
Yep. Yeah. So a reminder, everybody, F1, your main intent here is supposed to be to study. And the CPT is an application of your studies.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. Just make sure we're familiar with that, with whoever we're talking to, right? It's not like you're just willy-nilly granted like working authorization. This is part of your curriculum. How many days? Okay, there's several questions here. Okay, okay, when does CVIS transfer take place? How many times does CPT application take place? We already answered the DBA program, and we already answered the so let's just talk about the first two. Yeah, CVIS and CPT applications.
Yeah, we ask if class starts on a Monday, we ask for the CVIS record no later than the Friday before. And communicate well in advance with your enrollment counselor, that I'm going to be transferring it on this date and I want CPT, have all your documentation ready to go. And the big piece here is you can contact your current DSO and request your transfer out for a future release date. So you can tell us in November that we're going to get your CVIS record on January 2nd. And that way we know we have it, get you registered for class. We know it's in good standing. We can see your CPT request sitting there in Teradata. So then when we get to January 2nd, my team knows exactly that this is a record we have to go take care of today.
Yep. All right. Yeah, thank you. I always tell students, like, I mean, we can't guarantee, like, because sometimes people are trying to minimize the gap between your CVS transfer. That can't always like guarantee it's gonna be, no gap. But one thing you can do is stay on top of your paperwork and apply for everything early. It'll just make everything a lot smoother. Like when in doubt, just at least get the paperwork in, so that when the time, and like you said, I think it's great. You can schedule your CVS transfer ahead of time, so you don't have to worry about it. You're not scrambling like 3 days before the enrollment deadline. Okay, I think we're at 5:45. I think we can um I think do you want to answer question 27? I think this is kind of a broad question and might not be able to
It
give
is a
it.
broad question. I will put it to you this way.
Yeah.
When you look at an academic program, it's your responsibility to look at that course program objectives and all of the courses within it and make the argument on how that connects to your employment.
Mm. Yep.
I mean, it's the student's responsibility to make that connection because it's the student is the one that were ever questioned by a U.S. agency. They're going to hold the student accountable to make that connection. So if you believe you can make a connection there, and I
Mm.
will tell you this, our artificial intelligence program, I mean, right now you can make a justification that those AI tools can be used in pretty much any position across the work spectrum. I mean, everyone is trying to figure out how to use these new tools and enhance their daily work and improve their daily work, make it more efficient. There's a lot of different ways we're even playing around with it within our DSO team on how we can improve and, make things more efficient within our team.
Yep, yep. I mean, that's what I remember about the AI. The AI program at Indiana Wesleyan is specifically designed to help people bring AI into like all sorts of different fields, right? So yeah, I mean, for CPT questions, I'm just gonna sell this to students because we get it a lot. I'm sure you get it a lot. You can't really give a definitive yes or no, like is this going to be approved for CPT? The CPT approval process has to happen based on the connection that you demonstrate between your coursework and your job responsibility. That's really your responsibility. We can't ever tell you like I mean like ahead of time, like yes, this is 100% going to work, no, this is 100% not going to work. You have to show the connection, and showing that connection is actually really important for any other like inquiries from the US government going on. Last question, I can just super quickly answer this. So when's the best? This is kind of a vague question about when the best time to take part in CPT and OPT is. I will say if you're doing your first master's in the US, you're probably aware you're eligible for OPT, but if you use full-time CPT for more than 1 year, you won't be eligible for any OPT when you graduate. So just keep that in mind. Maybe like part-time CPT isn't affected by this, but we do recommend students if you are working more than like maybe just try and keep their full-time work under like 11 months to be on the safe side because sometimes students may kind of miss some certain dates. That way you can just maintain your eligibility for OPT. And then where was I going with this? Yeah, so yeah, just do be aware of that. And then you can time that. The other thing is full-time it doesn't mean like traditionally like 40 hours. Full-time means more than 20 hours per week. So that's a specific designation that you need to like fill out when you're applying for CPT. So do stay on top of
Samir,
it.
you can come join my DSO team.
All right. Say the very last. All right. So I think that's we're a little bit over time. So thanks, Nathan, for staying with us for a little bit. Thanks everybody for your questions. We do have a couple unanswered questions. So please feel free to reach us on WhatsApp on the right, or a WeChat on the left. I'll be happy to talk to you. All right. Have a good evening, everybody.